Never get tired of that. Good evening. Welcome back to the Red 5 Tavern and Season 2's campaign, The Accursed Queen of Iron Bridge. Tonight, we are playing Chapter 8.
Ooh.
A Death in the Family. Dewey's mom was killed in the attack on Balgar Mine. And as the party lays her to rest, how is the mysterious way the Grey Dwarves traveled to the area tied to the quest for the Wyvern's Tear? Now, before we get into the game, tonight we have the pleasure of playing with Kelly, who is playing Datari.
Hi, friends.
We have Aaron, who's playing Eve. We have Steve playing Draymond. And finally, we have Spencer playing Gibble. All right, so, a little bit of a somber start to this one. Dewey's mom is dead. You guys took care of some pretty intense beasts, Grey Dwarves, plural, at the end of last game. And after a long rest at Dewey's home, you all managed to find various little places to sleep and bunk for the night. There weren't any more incursions, and of course, as the pattern has shown, that they attack at night. So the next morning, very early, you're awoken to shuffling in the house, and you see Dewey sort of putting things together, trying to, reestablish order in his life. He's had quite the story. He was attached himself to some brigands who thought, he would bring some sort of earnings back to his family, and they got on the wrong path. And you guys showed him what was to find the right path. And it's come full circle. He's come back home. He provided you with a very cryptic but seemingly important poem. And his mother's dead, and his brother is missing. And as he said last episode, he needs to stay here and help the community and help hopefully find his brother. But this morning is about his mom. And as you guys are sort of waking up and gathering your things, he looks at all of you and says, I will take her to a place where she loved and lay her there. If you want to come, if you don't, no problem.
I'd like to come. I think it's important to support our friends.
Okay, what about you, Gil?
To mourn alone.
Okay. Raymond?
I will accompany.
Okay. So you guys head out. It's sort of to the, as you guys know, this sort of region is sort of a V shape, right? And it comes down to the mine. You've got these sort of two areas of rock formations, and it's up towards the left-hand side, or closer to the north versus the south side, and it sort of comes up overlooking Balgar Mine, like the town itself. And I'll share this with you here. And that was part of the artwork that we had for this week's episode, and it's a peaceful area for him. I'm going to share this with you here. So you guys come up to this ridge, and of course you see some smoldering still, and you see this little makeshift wooden casket that he's made, and he lays her in there. And he looks over at you and sort of smiles and nods and understands that he's very appreciative, first of all, that you're all sharing this time with him. And he looks up and he says some private words to himself, and he sort of hangs his head and looks back at you, and he says, "She loved this ridge. She could see far She came here a lot with us as kids, and for herself to be alone, she liked this place.
It has a beautiful view. I can see why she liked it. It feels very peaceful here.
Thank you, it was. Yes.
Dewey, did your mom have a favorite flower?
I don't know. She liked flowers in general. We bring sometimes for birthdays and presents if we find. There aren't many flowers here, but there are some thistles on that ridge that she liked.
I'm going to perform a cantrip, minor illusion, to give the illusion of thistle and flowers covering her grave.
So he looks over at that and smiles, and he looks back at you, and you can see he's getting emotional. And as that goes on, Torga, she steps up and sort of walks sort of out from your group close to Dewey and looks back at all of you and looks at him and looks at the grave.
I would like to start off by saying that, Dewey, I know that I've had my differences with you, and that I have not always been kind, or hardly ever kind to you. But I do know what it's like to lose someone that you love very much at the hands of such evil. The same thing happened to me not that long ago, and every day when I close my eyes, I still remember that day. But I know that the one I lost that was dear to me would tell me to set aside my differences. But he was always such a patient and kind person, so much better than me. So to honor him, I will tell you from the very bottom of my heart that I am sorry for your loss of your mom, and that I know that she will always be with you, and that she will always live in you. I would like...
Torga, that was so beautiful.
And so you see that Dewey sort of is stunned. He's crying. He's actually crying. And he sort of nods to her and is extremely touched by her words. And that's a level of emotion too from Torga that you guys have never seen.
Yeah. I'd like to say, Dewey, that I didn't know your mom, nor do I come from a functional family to know what to say about her mom. But I know that she was a good mother because she has a very good son.
Thank you. You all honor me with your words, and you honor her life. And you didn't even know her. That means much.
Dewey, would you be offended if I offered up some intercessory prayer in the tradition of my people?
I would be honored.
With that, Eve will take a few minutes to... he takes out some clothes from his pack. There's like fresh white linen, like vestments that he kind of puts over his outfit. He brings out a small icon of Saint Gustav appears to be a dragonborn, with like illuminated with some gold foil, and he will take out a small bowl, pour some incense in, and light it, and he'll basically like lift up his hands and basically like offer a prayer up, standing in front of this. Saint Gustav being kind of a patron saint of a protection of the innocent and the helpless, and he'll just kind of like rock back and forth, chanting this intercessory prayer over and over again in the draconic tongue.
Awesome. And when you're done, he puts his hand on your shoulder and says, "Thank you. We appreciate that, and I will not forget it." That's completely up to you guys, Gibble and Draymond. If you want to say any words, you don't have to. You can if you want. It's up to you.
Gibble sort of just in the back, and you see him have a couple tears himself, and just say, such a beautiful place to just lay rest here. It's absolutely beautiful. May she rest in peace.
And Draymond just simply bows to Yui.
And he bows back to you. He smiles back at you, Gibble, and has a smile of knowingness that you get the fact that this is where she's meant to be. And then Eerie steps up, look at the rest of you, and realizing no one else is going to speak, and he comes up.
All right, lady. I'm not all that good at this crap, so bear with me. Not like you're going anywhere. I mean, so nobody deserves to go the way you went. And you did good with your kid. I mean, he's not that bright, but I mean, I guess. Okay. You know what? I'm just pouring one out for you right now. There we go. Yep. No, too much. Dang it. And don't drink all that at once. But I hope you rest well. All right, lady.
Never change.
And with that, Eerie steps back, and Yui looks at him and, somewhat puzzled, says, "I understand that for you it's not easy. Thank you for sharing your drink with the land." And go ahead.
I awkwardly go up to Dewey and put my arms around him in an awkward kind of hug, because Dewey's the first hug that I ever gave, but I saw other people do it, so.
Cool. So you approach him like Sheldon, essentially, from Big Bang Theory, and sort of you maneuver in. You're not quite sure where your arms are supposed to go. And first of all, he's taller than you, so you're hugging his chest, essentially. And he seemingly didn't have many times for hugs either, and he just sort of leans into you and smacks the back of your back, and quite quickly. But you did have a long rest, so you have full health, so you're okay.
Thank God.
So Dewey looks up at the sky, and he looks back at the grave, and then he faces you all, and he says, "I lost my mother. I don't know where my brother is, but I have a family. You are all my family. And I hope to see you again when this great adventure is done. I cannot follow until I have my brother. I hope you understand that I must stay and find him."
Absolutely.
And so he sort of starts to walk back down towards like the city center. And so you guys follow. And you get the fact that he's sort of awkwardly trying to end things, that he's not used to this type of emotion. And you guys get back to his little sort of shambles house, and he says to you, where do you go from here? I don't have supplies to provide. I don't know what to do.
We'll be okay, friend. Erie's going to lead us, and I'll be back. I promise you I'll be back.
Bring back the poem.
I'll bring back the poem for you.
Thank you. And as you guys are talking, again, Erie sort of pushes his way through all of your tall legs, and he says,
Now, wait, stop. I know of this, and I shouldn't say I know, I heard of this gray dwarf tunnel. It's a tunnel that I've heard about it a few times. It's, actually, I think we walked by it on the way in here. It's a couple hours back. Pretty sure it's going to get us where we need to go. Everything I've heard about it is this tunnel was made by the Grey Dwarfs, so don't quote me. This is all hearsay, and I don't remember how much I've had to drink since we started this conversation. But hang on. So there's a tunnel. There's a tunnel. It leads under the river, if I remember correctly. But it should bring us closer to our target. Brings us closer to the Berserker Woodlands. If I remember the story or the lore correctly, it should spit us out right around the Iron Bridge outpost. Within reason. I mean, it's all hearsay. Some people say it's right up against it. Other people say it's an hour and a half away. Some people are like, I don't know. Could take some time, though, because I have heard that in a couple of variations of the story that this tunnel is long and drawn out, and it was meant to be inconspicuous, so it could take a few days to get through this thing. This most likely isn't going to be a quick just slide down the thing and woo! It's not like Torga's going to push me down this one.
Oh my god.
So,
Damn drunk dwarves.
with that little bit of information, I'm going to share some stuff here. The map for this adventure. Oops, not that one. Saw that one. Go. So.
Okay.
So right now, can you guys see my cursor on the screen? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So he has this little map, and he takes his finger, and because it's soaked with alcohol, it actually leaves this sort of streak, as you can kind of see it here. That you guys are up over here, sort of this part over here, that bridge that you just buried Dewey's mom over here. So, like you said, maybe an hour or so's walk to get to this entrance somewhere around here. And yeah, so it's this long tunnel, and you guys can sort of gauge the distance it took you to get from here. Maybe a half day, so you're looking at a day and a half in this tunnel. And as he said, it's going to pass under the high river, pop out over here, the Iron Bridge outpost. And I'd like to highlight the fact that we have moved so far in this story that we now see the Iron Bridge is close at hand. And we're getting close to this story. So, with that in mind, you guys have, it's relatively early in the morning, and what would you guys like to do? You have You know where you're going to be going. You know what is entailed. You know you're going to be in a tunnel. What would you guys like to do?
I just finished a coffee. I'm all packed up. I'm ready to hit the road.
I will prepare my spells for the day. Today, praying to Saint Darius, the Swift Avenger, patron of justice. So that locks in my Channel Divinity feature to abjure enemy.
Nice.
Okay. So, is everyone else ready? You guys want to head out?
Yeah, I'm ready to move on.
Okay. So Eerie leads the way, and also Torga, actually, because both of them have rocksmithing abilities. So they're sort of working together, arguing like they are in the chat, live, by the way. So once minute payment, just check out the YouTube chat, because at times they may be more entertaining than us. So yes. Anyways, so you guys head out, and your guys are following Torga and Eerie, and you walk for maybe an hour or so, and then Eerie just sort of stops and bursts out.
Oh, son of a bitch. That's what it was. Wait, stop. See this split? Maybe it's a split. I'm not doing the splits. You're doing the splits. There's another bit to this story that I completely spaced out earlier. Maybe it was the meat. It's one or the other.
Oh, no.
Regardless, there's something in one of the lores about stay to the left and you'll be right, or stay to the right and you'll be stay to the right and you'll be right. Stay to the left, right. It's got to be stay to the right. Stay to the right and you'll be right. No, stay to the right and be right. On your way. That's right. Stay to the left and pass a good guest. Just guest. I gotta pass gas. I don't.
Oh my gosh.
It's something like that. I'm sure we'll be left or right. You know what? Pick left or right. You get it. It's one or the other. 50-50. We're either gonna die or we won't. We should be fine one way or the other. You won't really care at the end if you die. So pick one. Oh, son of a bitch.
So Eerie drops that, and so thank you for Eerie's appearances tonight, disembodied from his character. Yes.
It's like
so,
he's right here with us.
Yes.
Magical.
Power of recording. So as you guys are standing in this area, and he's pointing out, and as I said, when you guys came in when you guys were heading from Balgar Point into Balgar Mine, these stone formations in this area, they're like obsidian, right? And similar to Tar Island. And it absorbs light, and it's hard to discern facets of it unless literally carved in different ways. And so as you're standing in this thing, standing on the grass, looking at this stone, you have no idea what he's talking about until you just sort of focus on that split that he said. And there's a split between this sort of piece of stone coming this way and a piece of stone coming that way. And it's actually a gap, but because the veins of the colorations of the different layers of rock, they're actually overlapping in the background and in the foreground. And then once you make that split between those two levels, it's clear as day that you have like these two sort of shielded pieces of stone blocking or hiding an entrance of a stone wall behind. And unless you stood there and studied it at this perfect angle, you would never have noticed. And that's why it's been hidden for so long. And so you guys sort of move up to it and you walk into it, and behind these splits, so the one from the right, it's literally covering. You guys look sort of like maybe at like 3 or 4 o'clock in behind that split, and you see this clear tunnel opening. I mean, it's so obvious now that you see it that you would expect everyone to find it, but it's been hidden for millennia. And Erie had the path. So yeah, so there we go. So this is the entrance to the tunnel.
Before we go in, I'm gonna lightly tap Eve on the shoulder and say, "Friend, can I ask you a small favor?"
Go ahead.
Do you think you could, swing your axe and get me a small piece of that obsidian? I feel like it can help me someday.
I'm not sure I have an X, but
You have a cattail.
I have a javelin, a longsword. I tell you. I got a javelin, a longsword. Yeah, between those, that should be it.
A cattail.
How you doing, Charles?
Wait.
Yeah. Where, Tilly?
And actually, the curve of the tail was like, oh, you can actually grab that as a weapon and just sort of turn it on.
Gibble, would your axe be able to get a little chunk of that obsidian for me?
I can certainly try.
Yes. Yes.
Just hopefully it doesn't fuck it up here.
No, you're not gonna fuck it up. You'll be good. You get an awesome piece of obsidian for Datari for sure.
Yay! Oh, my horns. Stop doing that.
So, you guys get to you sort of move around the levels of stones covering the tunnel, and okay. So, what's your marching order? Because you're entering into darkness.
I will handle the back.
Okay.
I don't have dark vision, but I volunteer to light a torch and go first.
I
be
do
right
have
behind you.
dark vision. I'll go wherever you guys need me.
Okay, just give me a second here. So,
Maybe
okay.
be up front by me. Help me, look over me and, help me see where to go.
Sure thing.
Sure, but I don't want to get in Eve's way because Eve was right behind you with that torch.
All right, so we've got Draymond at the back. Do you have dark vision, Draymond?
Damn mute button. Yes, I do.
Okay.
I am a dark elf,
Okay, cool.
so
All right, so
I
then-
prefer the dark.
Awesome. All right. So then leading the pack, we've got Gibble, and you do not have dark vision, correct?
Nope. Gonna
Okay,
light a
So
torch
do
now.
I.
All right. So then we've got Eve, and you got a torch, though, right?
Yes,
I do.
we both do.
Oh, cool. Okay. And then we've got Atari. And do you have dark vision?
Yes.
Okay.
60 feet.
Okay, cool. All right. So, Eve, as you are fumbling around to light that torch with your rock and tinder there, you're trying to light it. You actually feel in one of the pouches that was containing some of your small little pieces. You feel like a piece of paper in there, just sort of folded and put in there. And curiously, of course, you take that out, and there's a note written, and you can tell it's Zenare's handwriting. And on this note, it says, "As I was heading down the seat of St. John, I saw Grist being called to the clasp." Now, we all remember from episode 6, the clasp was that sort of blood red wooden contraption that was
Yes.
inside, under the behind the frieze. And it continues. She said, like a stone in a pond, the clasp's rings of influence include Grist very closely and Gibble a bit further out. Be wary, be curious, and be open.
Did Eve just read that out loud, or is this to himself?
Oh,
That was to himself, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was to himself. All right,
I'll,
so
tuck that back in somewhere safe, and
Okay.
maybe move the clasp to like the bottom of my pack.
okay, so and this all seems natural because you're all sort of arranging yourselves to head down into the cave, and so you light the torch. You guys get into your marching order, and you almost look at each other like, okay, we're heading in here. You guys have a sense of what's going to be happening, and take a deep breath, and you take a few steps forward. But before we get into the cave, we're going to head back to Castle Ironbridge for an interlude.
Ooh.
Again, we are in Laera's office, and she says to Axor, "He's dead? How? He's but a child." And Axor replies, "It wasn't natural causes. We sent for a physician, but there is nothing he could do. What did he say was what killed him?" Then he pauses and poisoned the lady. A child? What demon would do such a thing? We've already started canvassing the area to see if someone saw anything, milady. We are focusing on the day, the evening, and the night before. We are trying to find this murderer. And she says, "Good. I want this murderer found." All right. So, with that being said, we head into the tunnel. And as you guys get to the entrance, you basically, in front of you, you see like these rough-hewn steps carved out of like the obsidian and like the surrounding rock. And you also see some curiously, really intricately constructed lanterns. And I'll give you a quick little idea of what these look like here. So it looks, of course, you got stalagmites and stalactites, which we covered greatly in season 1. So if you guys want a refresher course on how those things work, well, you can watch that. However, for tonight's episode, we're going to focus on the fact that this place is dark. However, these little lights near the entrance, you're not really quite sure why they're there. It's well known that dark elves have dark vision as well, but anyways, they're very much near the entrance of the tunnel and not further on, as you can see. So, so you see that as you first come in.
Would those lamps be? By examining them, would we be able to tell like what culture produced them?
You can definitely take a look at them. They're accessible.
Dwarvish or elvish or whatever.
Sure, absolutely. And especially with Eerie and Torga in the group. So you guys go down, you guys take a look at those, and they are definitely dwarvish construction in nature. They're somehow like almost like churned stone. Like they're like little vessels of oil and this wick structure that you've never seen before, and the wick is so tightly woven that it burns extremely efficiently, and would last for days, if not weeks. So these little almost little oil gourds basically are positioned at the opening for some reason. You're not really quite sure, because you can't really tell why they'd be there at this point. But yeah, they are definitely dwarvish in nature, and Torga and Eerie certainly confirm that for sure. And they're movable. I mean, you could take them if you want, but they're yeah.
Yeah, I'll pick up one of these.
Okay.
Extinguish my torch. Take this.
Yeah, and you notice as you pick it up, the very interesting fact is that the stone is not warm at all. That heat transfer somehow is not happening. So you can literally hold it like a little torch if you wanted to.
It's like an LED lamp.
How is that even possible?
You see like a whole bank.
Magic.
You see a whole bank of USB chargers on the side of the wall, actually. No. So as you guys get into the area, you notice it's probably about 15 feet across wide, with alcoves and sort of little pockets of darkness, but essentially 15 feet at the widest this carved tunnel is. And so you guys start walking, and what's your pace? Are you guys just like running through this, or how are you approaching this?
I'm following Gibble and Eve, but I'd like to think I'm walking as quietly as possible, but somewhat of an even pace. Not too brisk, definitely not slow.
Are we expecting to run into trouble here?
Yeah.
It's established that this was built by Grey Elves and Grey Elves, Grey Dwarves. Thank you. And this very well could be the way that they entered this area. Aside from their magical abilities, the visibility, this definitely could be a path that they could have used. So, yeah, caution would be advised.
That being the case, I've got disadvantage on stealth from my armor, so I would recommend, at least for my sake, that we go at a slower pace, which I believe gives advantage on stealth checks. Or
it does. It does.
We can make stealth checks while we move.
Correct.
Correct. Up to you guys.
Yeah, and I'm sticking as close to the shadows and trying to be as invisible as I possibly can.
Gibble's going to try to stick with the group, but he's wanting to go faster than everybody else. So with him being up front, occasionally he's going to be ahead and then turn back and realize, oh, never mind. And then try to wait a moment.
Okay.
Over and over.
Rubber bandit.
Exactly.
Those little child cords in shopping malls, going to go so far.
Yep.
Get back here.
It's a little Gibble leash.
Gibble leash.
So cute.
That's his new language.
Gibble leash.
So you guys sort of gingerly walk, slowly, more slowly than usual. Gibble tends to speed up a little bit and get maybe 4, 5, 6 feet ahead, and then realize
my hair is black. There's nothing ginger about me.
Yeah.
Hey.
That's a knee slapper.
So you turn around, Datara, and you see nothing behind you. He's just he's there just by maybe his slight breathing, but he's hiding in the shadows and using very, very effective skills to be, especially that far away from the light. Yeah. Somewhat disquieting, but he's there, but he's not. So there's that. And so you guys are walking slowly, and Gibble, you see coming up with your with the light that is being provided by the by this little stone torch that Eve is holding. You're seeing a structure on the ground in front of you. It's like it's not tall, but it's some sort of mechanical thing that's standing coming up towards you guys.
Hey, Eves, there's smart people stuff coming up.
Smart people stuff.
Oh. Is it me? I guess I'll step up. Just so you know, intelligence was like my dump stat, so...
I'd say.
Oh no.
Dump stat!
Yeah.
And wisdom. But, you know.
Oh,
Me too.
no.
And
But he's very
dexterity,
charming.
So
Very charming.
I have
Perfect
a
to
plus
disarm a
3
trap.
for intelligence, just in case anybody needs it.
yeah, you're probably best suited to that. But let's give it the old college try. Why not?
Okay. So you guys want to switch positions?
Yeah, we'll do that.
Sure.
Okay. So by virtue of doing that, you sort of get obviously closer to the object, and as you get closer, and as your little lamp illuminates more, it's got about maybe a 20-foot sort of radius of light. You look at it, and it's like a sort of dilapidated cart, and more than one, and like wooden structure. And the cart has sort of like this 2 handles, almost like a wheelbarrow, right? But just out of wood, and broken wheels, just discarded. It looks extremely ancient, and so it's just something that you didn't expect to see, but it adds to the mystery of this place.
Hmm.
I mean, they're sort of toppled over each other, so there's several layers of dilapidated wood and stuff, and wheels and some other things, but it's just a series of carts.
Is there anything in the carts?
So you move the pieces of wood, and there's obviously the base is a larger piece of wood, and they all sort of fall apart as you're moving them. They haven't been touched in eons, from what it looks like. And the bottom one, you find a little, maybe a nugget, maybe an inch tall and half an inch wide, of raw gold.
Oh!
Ooh.
Anybody mind if I take that gold? I'm down to my last 4 pieces.
You're my guest.
Thanks. And how much
Doesn't
gold?
explode or anything, does it?
No. Well, you have to. Okay, this I have to show.
Yeah, for anybody who's watching this, we have Grist and the 2 dwarves going at it in the chat, and I keep losing it.
So, so it's a weighty little piece of gold. You'd have to get it smithed and sort of evaluated for value, but it speaks more to what was in these carts and what the carts were used for. So you guys, keep on walking. Really not quite sure for how long, because it's hard to tell without sunlight, right? And so, are you guys keeping the same order, or are you going back to Grist in the front with Eve, and then Tatari and Draymond in the back? Oh my God, Grist! Gibble.
Gibble.
Sorry,
One of those nights, isn't it?
Yes, it is. So many characters.
Yeah. Gibble volunteers to go back up first.
Okay. So you guys keep walking, for a couple hours. You're not really quite sure for a time with nothing. You guys are moving slowly, but you're progressing through it. And again, you see something coming up in front of you, Gibble, on the ground. But what you see is a faint sort of glow, and in the middle of the path of this tunnel. So you definitely especially after the last time you sort of passed off to Eve for smart man stuff, you stop immediately. And as you pull up to him, Eve, you see the same thing that's maybe 35, 40 feet in front of you. You see a slight glow coming from ahead of you. And you see a little bit of shadow.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and cast Divine Sense.
Okay.
So I know the location of any... Well, I can sense anything affected by the Hallow spell, and I know the location of any celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet that is not behind total cover. Do I get any pings?
Nope. No. No return pings on that one.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily mean anything, but I will creep ahead carefully.
Okay, and what do you guys do, Draymond and Datari? You guys just follow along?
I'm following along, but I keep looking behind me, to the sides of me, up on the ceiling.
So you're scanning, and you, at this point, from this distance, as you guys sort of creep up, you see, with your dark vision, you see it looks like some sort of 5 or 6 smallish creatures huddling around something on the ground, and they're giving off a glow. And as you guys walk a little bit further, the glows that these things are giving off sort of stop and change, and somewhat change direction, almost as if they're pointing towards you guys. And with that, we have some creatures that are in the middle of this cave that are suddenly interested in you. Drop the
Oh
volume.
no, it's this music.
And so the Draymond, and you're seeing this now too because you caught up to the everybody else. You see these creatures again with the clarity that Datari sees. Little low-lying, bulbous little creatures with like glowing packs of something. You're estimating maybe 4, 5, or 6 of these things sort of suddenly moving towards you guys after having interrupted something that they were doing to some sort of thing. You can't really tell too much detail with that, what's in front of them, but you can definitely...
How big is each one?
Pardon me?
How big is each one?
They're small creatures, so maybe like a foot wide, and they're like ground level.
Okay.
And they're about... so I'm going to just actually... You know what? Why don't you guys, since you guys are all bunched up, why don't you guys roll for initiative here?
Yeah.
What are they, like slimes?
No, they aren't.
Did not try. Okay.
You can't tell. Well, from what you can see, that's true. You have dark vision. You can see they look like little beetles running towards you guys.
Beetles.
Ooh.
But they have glowing abdomens, and you can see the legs. You can see them, and they were not quite enthused with you guys interrupting them.
Can't imagine why.
I got a
All right.
12.
Okay, so just give me a second. I'm just going to roll these things here. And then I'll intersperse you guys with them. All right, so you got a 12? Sorry?
Yes.
All right, what did you get, Gibble?
A magical 4.
Oh.
At least it wasn't a 1.
Okay.
One away from being that on my die.
And what about you, Eve?
10.
10. All right. And finally, Draymond.
19.
Dang.
Dang.
High roller here. All right. So with your
Rogues.
keen sense of discovery and stealth, Draymond, you see these characters, these little creatures running at you. And
Running at me?
well, you in general. I mean, all
Okay.
all 4 of you coming towards you, and they're maybe this point 15 feet away from you. And as these creatures move towards you, both Eve and Gibble can now sort of very clearly see their outline. The fact that they look like they're beetles, essentially. They're coming at you, and you can see because of the glow of their abdomen, you can tell that their heads are in front of them, and they're running towards you for an attack position. So it's definitely they're onto you. So, but Draymond, it is your first attack.
Okay. I am going to sneak up to the first ones that I can, and pull out a couple of daggers.
Okay. So I'll have to do a stealth check on that. So you're going to roll a stealth check, and I'll roll their
stealth check. I got a 27.
Okay.
Dang, dude.
Let me just roll there.
No, I've got a +9 on my stealth.
Yeah, so you basically just hug that side of the tunnel, and you've got, there's basically all 6 of them are just sort of running sort of in line. So do you have 2 attacks or just 1 attack?
I have 2.
All right. Well, you have 2 attacks, and both of them are with advantage because you beat that basically a surprise attack. So you got an advantage on both rolls.
Okay. And I also, since it's a sneak attack, I will have extra damage.
All right.
All right. So my first attack will do a 19.
Okay. So all you hear is on 1.
Okay. And second one is 11.
2. So you just took out 2 of them.
Nice.
These things aren't extremely strong, but they can swarm. So you guys realize that Draymond, to your much surprise, snuck by you and ran up maybe 7 or 8 feet ahead of you, and comes out of the shadows and just basically skewers 2 of these beetles, just like that, and basically has them on his daggers, like a shish kebab of some sort, some decrepit, ugly shish kebab. And now we go to that would be Datari, actually.
Okay, how many glowworms or glow beetles are left?
Glowworms. In the 80s. You've got 4 of them rushing. Draymond just took out 2 of them, so there's 4 left.
Okay, are they in a straight line or are they kind of scattered?
They're a little bit scattered, but they're like very sort of similarly positioned. It's not like they're half over here and half over there. They're very closely knit together.
Okay, I'm gonna look at Gibble and say, "Hey, Gibble, watch this." I'm going to cast Catapult.
Okay.
Oh, good lord.
I'm going to use Eve's cattail.
Hi, pumpkin.
No. I am going to look at the beetle that's closest to me, and I'm going to catapult it up, kind of like in an arc, so that when it falls down, it's going to strike the second one.
So you're going to be taking 1 charging beetle and catapult it into the one beside it. Okay, all right. So how does this work? What are you using to do this acrobatic operation here?
Okay. The beetle must make a dexterity saving throw. On a failed save, the object strikes the target and stops moving. When the object strikes something, when the first beetle strikes something, what it strikes will take 3d8 bludgeoning damage.
Dang. And does the original object in this case take any damage? Does Beetle 1
It
take damage as much as Beetle 2?
It doesn't say, but being that I'm launching it like 90 feet up, and then it's coming back down to hit
Well,
the next
it's going to go... Yeah, it's not going to be
Well,
90
it's
feet.
going to hit the ceiling
Yeah.
and fall down.
Yes, it's going to... Okay, it'll take damage there as well. Okay, all right. So, basically, Beetle 1... So, John needs to make a dexterity roll to see if he hits Paul.
John.
Okay, I gotcha. And he failed. So, John...
Oh, yes!
I failed my dexterity roll. And then, so you say to Gibble, watch this. And you launch this thing, and it picks up this glowing beetle, shoves it up into the ceiling, and I'm going to do 1d4 damage on that for the damage into the ceiling. And that is 3. And then it's meant to slam on the next one, correct?
Yes.
And that's what, 2d8 you said?
Yes. It's 14 damage.
All right. So, but the first, John is not dead. Paul is dead. And we still have Ringo and oh my God,
John, Paul, Ringo, and the other guy.
George.
John,
Thank you,
Paul,
George.
Ringo.
Jesus. Well, my guitar's in. Yeah, so we still got still 3 of the 4 members of the Beatles still left.
Why can't we think of the other Beetle?
I know it's usually Ringo you forget about, not George. Come on now.
Yeah.
George.
All right. So at this point, it is Beetle number. So it's George's attack, and he's going to go for Gibble, and he lunges at you with a lightning bite of 10 and misses. I would assume your armor class is higher than that. I assume.
Ha! You miss.
Okay. And then actually we've got a second. Ringo is going to go. And he rolls a 7. So Ringo misses. And now we go to Gibble. It's your attack. Sorry, Eve. I'm sorry, Eve. It's your attack.
Fine.
Yeah.
Okay,
was about to
there's
say-
how many left?
I'm pretty sure I'm last.
There are
Beetles?
3 Beatles left. You got John,
Okay.
George, and Ringo.
And John is hurt from being.
Yes,
smacked
John is
into the
hurt.
ceiling.
Okay. Is there a way I can get all 3 of them in with a 15-foot cone?
No, because George just attacked Gibble and missed, so he's sort of more closely to him. The other 2 you could, yes, you could go for Ringo
Okay.
and John in that 15-foot cone.
You know what? I think I will. Yeah, okay. I'm going to use my breath weapon. So,
Okay.
dexterity saving throw from both of them.
Both of them, all right.
And you see Eve kind of like step up, and this like electrical charge builds up in his throat as he like opens his mouth wide, and lightning shoots out in a cone, kind of illuminating the cave.
Nice. So John fails.
It's a DC
Wow.
13.
Yes. Oh, sorry, you didn't even tell me that, but that doesn't matter because both of them, George and John, failed their dexterity saving throw.
Okay. They will both take 5 lightning damage then.
Wow, Eve, that was so super cool.
And that is enough to kill both of them. And that's...
Yeah.
So, surprisingly, and not surprisingly, kind of, Ringo is the last one standing.
Okay.
His attack, actually. Oh, you have second attack?
I have a bonus action, so can I close the distance to him?
Yeah, he's maybe 10 feet away from you, but yes, you can certainly close the distance.
Okay. I'm going to use my Shield Master feat and use my bonus action to shove.
Okay.
So I believe. Oh goodness, I have not shoved in a
In a
D&D
hot
game
minute?
in a while. Yeah, give me one check. I think it's just like a contested skill check, but let me just shove is
Using an attack
athletics
action,
check
you
contested by the
shovel.
target's athletics or acrobatics, their choice.
Okay, give me a second then here on this.
DC to beat is 21.
Careful, they got a +1.
Oh no.
Surprisingly, that fails. So, all right. So, what is that? What is the resulting? What does that do?
So I run up to Ringo, seeing that he just attacked Gibble, and just like bash him with my shield, and he just like flips over, his little legs scurrying in the air, and he is now prone.
Okay. What am I doing on my back? Where are me drum? So basically, we can consider Ringo like stunned, maybe sort of thing for one round. For the hit,
not quite. If it's on his turn, he can spend half his movement to stand up, and but until he does, while he's prone, melee attacks against him have advantage.
Okay. Well, and that's fantastic because Gibble, it's your turn.
Finally!
Gonna take out my big axe and just slam. Womp. Exactly.
Yeah. I'm going to give you advantage on that roll because Ringo's on his back.
21.
Oh, jeez. Oh, dear Lord. Yeah, that's a hit. That's a hit.
With 9 slashing damage.
And with that blow, Gibble manages to send the beetles into oblivion. Well done.
Glow guts everywhere.
I just want to say it's a clean cut through that beetle is just perfect.
Oh,
Nice.
it's yeah. It also left sort of a flavor of backbeat, but we're not sure about that one. So with that, you guys notice that even after death, these beetles and these sort of sacs or these little nodules that they have are still glowing, even though they're dead.
Ooh.
And they're still emitting light.
What part's exactly glowing?
It's in their abdomen. It's these glands, essentially, and they're this phosphorescent chemical concoction that they make within. These are giant fire beetles, by the way, and their glands are actually quite highly coveted because they offer sustainable light, and these are going to last for 3 days before they go out. And each one of them is something you guys can carry. There's no heat to it, and its glow is less substantial than a torch, but it's also less obvious. So it's a semi-glow to 10 foot, and then a even lesser glow at 20 feet.
Well, Gibble's going to take one.
Okay.
Anybody
I
know?
take one as well.
Anybody know a surgeon?
With what you guys just did, let's just say you guys
Maybe
don't
not
need a knife.
necessary. Okay. Do these glands look like natural to them, or does it look like parasitic, or
No, it's
like
natural. Yeah, it's natural to
okay.
them. It's like one of their sort of like animalistic traits. So yes.
Okay. I've got my lamp, so I'm fine. But
Okay. So whoever wants to take one can take one.
I'm just taking one because it looks cool. I don't really
It does
need
look
it,
cool.
but
It's got this sort of fiery red, like yellow, reds, and oranges glow, and it's a cool look for sure. You can take it out
Are
clubbing.
there any guts on the ground that are glowing?
No,
Okay.
No. just these glands.
Do I think that they would be worth money anywhere?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm gonna take some too.
So there are 6 glands in total.
Okay.
So if Gibble, did you take one, Gibble?
Yes, one.
So Gibble and Datari took 2, so you can have the rest of the 4. Apparently, no one else is taking any.
Okay.
So you
Nice.
can store those. And yeah,
Greedy Draymond.
Yeah.
You can do about it.
I mean, come on, were you not here for the first night? Everybody was getting attacked by a Wyvern, and I was looting the place.
Well, you see, Gibble was being busy, not allowed to help, because he was busy in an argument the entire time during that whole fight.
Draymond's the entrepreneur of the group. How about that?
Exactly.
There you go.
So, as you guys, you finish with the beetles, and that maybe 10 feet away from you, maybe 15 feet, is this sort of thing that they were very interested in. And the ones with dark vision look up, and it looks like limbs. You see limbs, like 2 arms sort of sprayed out to the left and right. And for those who don't have, so for Gibble and Eve, you guys sort of see this sort of clump of some sort of thing. But Draymond and Tatari, you can clearly tell it's a body of some sort that they were unfortunately feeding on.
Oh. Oh.
What kind of body?
Yeah.
Well, it's so you guys walk up to it, and it's a elderly female. So unfortunately, one of the slaves that they had taken from.
Oh, so they don't have any money on them.
Jesus. Wow. No, she doesn't have any little secret pockets in her nightgown because she was taken from her bed. But no, there's no money. And, it's a human female, and what you can assume is that she died or something happened to her as they were being taken away or somewhere. These gray dwarfs in Uragar through these tunnels. And it sort of strikes you at this point that if it weren't for the light sources that you have, this tunnel is pitch black. There is not one source of light at this point where you guys can see from in front of you and from behind you. So for a creature that doesn't have dark vision, this would be a petrifying place.
I don't want to bury this woman in case somebody comes in to try to find them. She might be somebody's family that's maybe they're looking for her. But at the same time, I don't want to leave her in this state.
I don't.
Gibble, you say something?
I don't know if you could really bury her because we're in like a stone tunnel.
Correct. Yeah, you couldn't bury her. Gibble's
And I
100%.
don't want to carry around stinky remains. Gibble's very sensitive with bad smells. Hates being around this body.
Is that something endemic to your character, Gibble, about stench and smell and stuff, or what? Or that just a sort of an aside?
Just on the side.
Okay, all right. But yeah, but he's 100% right. Is that you guys are in a hewn tunnel that you couldn't dig anyways. I mean, you can certainly lay her more peacefully and more graciously along the side of the tunnel from where she is, as opposed to what she looks like at the moment.
Okay, I go up and try to pick her up and try to drag her over to the side, but I'm kind of struggling because my strength is like bleh. So
okay.
But I'm trying.
So, any of you want to help out with this?
I will assist.
All right, so Eve heads over and
Yeah, I'll come help too.
guys. All right.
So
So you guys just sort of layer in the side, and you all sort of spend a moment to look down and realize this was a life that was taken from Dewey's hometown, and one of the sad stories of what's going on here. And so you guys continue on, and so we got the same marching order, right? So we got Gibble, we've got Eve, Tatari, and Draymond. And you guys are going at stealth mode, or at least slowly enough. So I'm going to ask Gibble to roll a stealth check, please.
I definitely have disadvantage on that. Hold on, let me see.
No.
I rolled
I
the
think it'd be
exact
canceled
same
out because
number.
I think it would be canceled out because we're moving slowly, but not that it would make a difference.
14.
Oh, so you mean like the disadvantage, like the negative roll, like the negative to the stat? You mean?
I see what he's saying. Because of the... You're saying we'd be going fast enough, or slow enough to where we'd get it. Advantage
Right.
on a stealth roll, but because I have disadvantage, it just turned into a normal roll is what he was
So it
saying.
just like negates itself. So it'll just be this
Yeah, it
straight
just
up,
cancels out.
Yeah.
right? So just a straight up stealth roll.
Well, it doesn't matter because I rolled the same thing.
Mhm.
You rolled 14.
I rolled a 14.
Are you wearing heavy armor?
I am.
Okay.
Okay. And Eve, can you also roll a stealth check, please? Since
I
you're
would
number-
be happy to, Charles.
Thank you, Aaron. Sorry, thank you, Eve.
I can find the darn thing.
I just broke the fourth wall again.
That is a solid 8.
Ooh.
Okay.
You know what? I'm gonna burn my inspiration and roll that again.
Nice use. Oh,
That is
man.
a solid 8.
Ah!
Dang it!
My second roll was a 2.
So it is not a surprise attack, but it is a similar to a roll for initiative for this first attack. Then we're going to roll for initiative for the entire group. But you guys are both attacked from two different sides of
Okay.
the tunnel. Gibble from the right, from the left, from the right hand side. Sorry, you are attacked by two nasty-looking claws. They're going to come right down at you.
Ah!
And you see this also, Tatari, and you recognize these claws.
Oh.
First one is going to... Oh.
It's one of those little pet things of the
Yes,
Grey Dwarfs,
exactly.
isn't it?
Exactly.
Oh.
So, in its excitement, the fact that I'm going to identify it here. It's a troglodyte, by the way. These little pets that the gray dwarves are carrying with them is a troglodyte. In its excitement and its somewhat dim-witted stupor that it actually surprised you, it goes to slash at you with its claw and trips on a stone and smacks its face on the ground, negating its other two attacks, and it takes 6 damage because it rolled a natty 1. So Gibble, you see this horrifying, and by the way, at this point, the stench that you get from this thing is absolutely disgusting. So the fact you're already sensitive to bad smells, this is the worst smell you've ever smelled in your entire life. So let me just do this really quick here. We've got... I'll get to you, Eve, in a second. I haven't forgotten about you, don't worry.
I was hoping for that.
All right. So we've got the troglodyte taking already 3 damage. All right. And from the left side, with his battle pick, is Duergar, war pick, sorry, is a Duergar, and he is going to roll. Oh, natty 20. Okay,
Uh-oh.
we've natty 1 and a natty 20 in a row. This is crazy. He's going to go for double damage on this one. And you are going to eat. Now he's not enlarged, so that's a good thing so far. 7 plus 2 is 9 times 2 is 18 damage in this attack from the.
Who is that to? Is that to
Eve?
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Ouch, my bones.
Yeah. So now I'm going to ask everybody to roll for initiative.
There it is.
All right.
And very well done, by the way, on the stealth moves, because if you guys hadn't done that, you wouldn't even had a chance to adjust that. And it would have been an advantage roll on them as well. So well done.
Okay.
I got a 12.
Same here.
So you got 12 for Tatari and 12 for Gibble. Give me a second here. And Eve, what did you get?
1.
No!
1? It's okay, it's not combat. It's okay. And Draymond, what did you get?
20.
20?
Brain case rattled.
Dang.
20.
All right. Well, guess who goes first?
They do.
Who could it be?
No, you do. They just
How
went
many
first.
of them? How many of them are there?
So basically what happened was you guys were sort of walking, and this horrible reptilian creature lunges from the right-hand side towards Gibble, suddenly trips and smacks its face on the ground, and it is prone. And then simultaneously from the left side, this gray dwarf lunges at Eve and lands this massive blow, like very, very deep blow to him, to Eve. So out of the two, you see, and you're equidistant to both of them. So you have, you're within 5-6 feet of each one of them. So it's up to you who you'd like to go for first.
Okay. I will first go for the one that attacked Eve.
Okay.
And on the first attack, I got... Oh, shit. I got an 8.
That is a miss.
Okay.
And you're attacking with what at this point, by the way?
Dagger.
Dagger, okay.
And second attack is a... Son of a bitch. I got another 8.
Ooh.
Well, if you add those two together, they would have been a hit. But those
So much for having the initiative then.
Dang.
All right. And so next we go to Gibble.
I must have tripped on a rock.
Yeah, that same
Next
rock.
to me, huh?
Well, I mean, you both got 12, and then last time you guys both rolled the same thing, and I gave it to Datari first, so I'm going to give this one to you.
Oh, okay. Sounds good.
Again, you can go both ways. There's one, this troglodyte, that is maybe 6 or 7 feet away from you, and then there's the other one that's just attacked Eve. But definitely the troglodyte is closer to you.
Go after that first one we talked about.
Okay.
And use my great axe and swing at it for a mighty 13.
13 is a hit.
Yes.
All right, and that is going to 5 damage.
Ooh.
Lowest I could have done.
Well, 5 damage, right? Okay. So okay. And as you lunge at it and hit it for damage, can you please roll a 12 for Constitution, a saving throw for Constitution.
Constitution saving throw.
Yes, on D12, yeah. D20, sorry.
10.
Okay, so you failed that. So you are poisoned. But what this means, this poisoning, and you can ask Datari about this later, is that for your next attack, you're going to be at disadvantage until the this troglodyte is dead and or it's finished its next round. So your next attack is going to be a disadvantage because its stench is so bad, literally.
These things are a bitch.
Yeah, and they smell horrible. And you thought the body smelled bad on the outside. All right.
We're listening to Gibble right now.
There it is.
Driving me nuts right now.
Good lord, the smell right now! I tapped it, raise me back!
Datari, it's your attack.
All right. How many are there in a cone area?
There are none. Because they're basically... There's nothing. Because you've got the gray dwarf that came from the left and attacked Eve. And basically across the tunnel, 15 feet away, you had the troglodyte coming out and attacking Gibble. So, and Gibble's like standing over this troglodyte and looking repulsive and queasy, and you recognize that face because that's exactly what you had. And you look at Eve, and he's got this war pick just basically being taken out of his shoulder.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's no real cone of attack for that type of setting.
Can I safely make a ranged attack on the gray dwarf without hurting Eve?
Ranged attack, and if it's specific to the gray dwarf, yes. I mean, if it's like a specific attack, yes.
Yeah.
You got a clear line of sight towards the gray dwarf, yes.
Okay, I'm going to roll and see if I can do that then. And does a 16 hit?
It does.
All right. I am going to use Ray of Sickness on that gray dwarf. A ray of sickening greenish energy lashes out towards the dwarf. On a hit, it's going to take 2d8 poison damage and must make a Constitution saving throw.
Dang. Okay, so roll that damage first, please.
Sure.
Dang.
2d8s. And that is 6 damage.
Okay. All right, and what was the saving throw, please?
Needs to make a Constitution saving throw of 13.
It's got +2. It makes it.
Okay, on a failed save, it is also poisoned until the end of your turn.
So, what's the poison damage? Is there
It does not say that, Dungeon Master.
I think it's the condition poisoned.
Oh,
nice. Target takes 2d8
disadvantage on attacks and ability checks, I believe.
Gotcha. Fail save. Awesome. Okay, so disadvantage for the gray dwarf. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Thank you, Aaron.
All right, so because Aaron rolled a 1, we are going with the gray dwarf's attack. And I'm still going to roll for who he's going to go for. He's going for Jatari because he sickened him, and he was not happy with that. He is going to use once again his war pick that he has in his hands. 13.
That does not hit me. My armor class is a 14.
Nice. All right.
Yes!
Very cool. But he lands his war pick into the ground. Nicely done.
Ah, thank God.
And then the troglodyte is actually going to use one of his attacks is going to be to get prone again. And then he is going to... Well, yes, I'm still going to do that. I'm still going to do the roll. So it's going to attack. All right, he's going for Draymond. So the troglodyte gets up and lunges at Draymond, and he's going to start with his bite. That's 15.
Doesn't hit.
Oh.
All right, nice. And then he's got 2 claw attacks. 5 plus that's 9, and 7. So that doesn't work either, right? So the it gets up and lunges at Draymond and completely misses on all of its attacks. And now, finally, we come to Eve. It is your attack.
All right. The one who attacked me, I'm going to go ahead and use a bonus action to cast Hexblade's Curse. So you see this kind of like shimmering, shadowy green energy just kind of come off of Eve's sword and kind of envelop it around this guy. And that gives me a +2 bonus to damage rolls, and I score a crit on a 19 or 20, and I regain 4 HP if he dies. Then I'm going to use my action to attack with my sword.
Okay.
Get him.
That is a 12 to hit.
That's not a hit.
Damn. Okay. Yeah, he's still kind of rattled from that big old hit, so doesn't quite make the mark, but that's going to be his go.
All right. Now, does that last for only 1 round, like your current attack?
I just put it away. It lasts for 1 minute until the target dies, I die, or I'm incapacitated.
So it should last then for your next. That's cool. Cool. That's very cool. All right. We are back at the top of the round, and Draymond, it is your attack again.
All right.
And
Let's see if I can actually hit something.
You're currently engaged, or you had attacked and lunged at the Grey Dwarf, but then from your perception, you notice that this troglodyte attacked you. And actually, yes. And I'm going to ask you to roll for a DC 13 for your Constitution.
Okay. 8.
Okay, so you failed as well. You're poisoned, so therefore you have a disadvantage on all your ability rolls until its turn is done.
And that includes attack rolls?
Correct.
Okay.
So you have both targets within your range, both the Grey Dwarf and the Troglodyte.
Okay. I'm going to attack the person who just poisoned me.
So this reptilian creature. Okay, so you swing around and go for it.
Okay, that one was 12.
That is a hit.
Okay.
And you have a second one, right?
And that is going to do, 8 damage.
Okay, so you land that's your first hit?
That's my first hit.
Okay. So you spin back and land like a jugular hit, and it drops to the ground and clasps its neck, and it does not look good at all. And because it did that, I'm actually going to negate your poison, because it is on death's door, and you have a second attack, correct?
I do.
All right.
I am going to lunge at the other one.
Okay. That's doable. That's doable.
And that is going to be a 21.
That is definitely a hit.
Okay. Also using dagger, and that's going to be a 7.
7 damage.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a cool visual. So, so you are in position. Actually, you're facing the gray dwarf because you attacked it. You tried to attack in the last round, didn't make its mark. This troglodyte attacked you, poisoned you with its foul stench, and you back hit it right in the jugular. It drops to the ground, and you lunge forward and stick the dagger into the gray dwarf. And I'm going to give you a point of inspiration because that is some theatrics. That is phenomenal.
Nice.
Love it.
Yay!
Awesome.
All right. Gibble, you are up. So you see that this troglodyte is just profusely bleeding from its neck.
Sorry.
And you're quite thankful because its stench reviles you. And you see Draymond had just landed this this ballet of death. He just let go and hit the gray dwarf, and it's your attack.
Excellent. So is it dead? Is that what you said?
No.
No, it's not dead.
The troglodyte is very near death. You could just see it's in really bad shape. It doesn't have much time at all. But the gray dwarf it's definitely
I'm going
damaged.
to try to end the troglodyte, but you said that I have disadvantage on my attack because of the
Correct.
stench, right? Okay.
Yes.
All right, so I'm
And
going
this will be the last
to try to end you then. And
you and your spell.
Oh my
And
god.
actually,
I hate this.
well, I'm
Disadvantage-
going to get rid of, just like I did with Draymond, I'm going to get rid of your disadvantage because it's prone and not moving, so it doesn't have any ability to sort of move itself. So
Oh, okay.
you don't have disadvantage. You don't have to take the lower roll. So I'll re-roll.
Well, I already.
You
The
did?
first one
Okay.
I rolled was a 20, so
Okay.
a
Dang.
natural 20, I should say.
Natural. All right. You describe it. What would you like to do?
Yeah, I'm just gonna chop its head clean off.
All right.
It's down there. Victory goes to Gibble against the Stinky.
You go, little man.
And,
And the troglodyte is dead. And what you all notice about that death hit is that it was so perfect that there was no noise that his axe gave. It just like, and the head was severed. It was wonderful.
Nice.
There's no audio. It's like the
Gibble,
last.
look. Gibble, it's...
Did Zari freeze? Oh,
yeah.
there she
Are we
is.
here? Did they
Yes,
freeze?
you're there.
Yeah,
Yes,
he did
okay.
for a moment.
Ugh.
So, Datari, you're up, and you notice that Gibble just had a separation of church and state with the troglodyte. So, what would you like to do? You have one attack, one combatant left, and that would be the Grey Dwarf.
Grey Dwarf. Again, is the Grey Dwarf, is Eve in my line with the Grey Dwarf? Like, if I were to do something to the Grey Dwarf, is Eve standing in between me and him?
Well, yeah, there's a tight. It's not very. There's not much separation here. We've got Draymond, who just landed a dagger stab. We've got Eve, who tried to hit him. Yeah, there's not much clarity or cleanness of area cone effect that would. We'd have to do some rolling for sure. but it's not like one of those clean attacks that you have to worry about that.
Then I'm going to do the range attack with Ray of Sickness again.
Okay.
And let's see if I hit. And that's 14 plus 5, 19 hit.
That is a hit. Nicely done.
All right. Let's cast that baby. 3d8. 2. It's a 5 and a 4. Is it a 4? Sorry, I'm like blind. Yeah, that's a 4. So that's 9 and 7. That's 16 damage.
And you cast that spell, and you end the life of that gray dwarf. He drops to the ground.
Good.
And
then heal for 4.
Oh, that's right. Okay. All effects are canceled. You heal for 4. And as you stand over the dead body of the gray dwarf, you notice that symbol that we showed last week, that clan symbol, is obviously adorned on its pauldron. So definitely part of that raiding party. What you don't know is, what was it, coming or going?
Mm-hmm.
But it certainly knew you guys were coming. I can tell you that for sure.
Who is injured? Like, how's everybody doing?
I could use a short rest. I'm at 25 of 39. So not like bad, but getting there.
What about Draymond, Gibble? How are you guys doing? Are you hurt at all?
Nope.
I'm untouched.
Untouched.
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to go over to Eve. I'm going to use, let's see. I'm going to use some cure wounds on him.
Thank you.
And oh, sorry, that's the wrong die. You're gonna get some 6 hit points back, Eve, of healing.
Thank you.
Does that feel a little better?
I say that feels pretty darn good.
Good.
Thank you, dearie.
Do you need any more?
Love the accent. It's so good.
I should be good. I'm at like 31 of 39, so
Okay.
I've got 15 hit points that I can heal with lay on hands, but I'm gonna save that for later. Still be nice to get a short rest because I get some stuff back, but
if we have a short rest, there's something new I would like to do as a bard that I've been practicing.
Ooh. Well, what you guys see around you is, like I said, the ones with dark vision, you see nothing in front of you. You see nothing behind you. The ones without, the glow of what you guys are carrying doesn't show anything, imminently about to happen. So if you would like to take a short rest, it's up to you.
Sure.
Okay. And that's what, 3 hours or so, I think?
I thought it was at least
1 hour.
1 hour.
Okay.
And then you can roll your hit dice to heal.
Gibble's feeling completely fine, so he's going to be on watch during this short rest.
Nice.
For what little he can see.
So I've been practicing this, okay? It's called the Song of Rest. I'm going to play you a soothing song, okay? And you can relax and and just chill out, and then you could use 1d6 and get extra hit points because my
Nice.
song is going to heal you a little bit.
Nice.
So I have this little box, and I'm going to play you the song now, okay?
All right.
Play it over the microphone.
Yes. Oh my god.
Hey.
I love it. Oh my god, that's awesome.
There you go.
Yay.
That is
Great.
awesome. I love it. I want it. Give it to me.
Yep.
And now you can have an extra 1d6 hit points
Ooh.
because that
cool.
Very
song soothed you and healed you.
That is awesome. Now, is that how many times a day can you do that?
It doesn't say that I have to. It just says whenever we're on a short rest.
Sweet.
I can
There
revitalize
you go.
my wounded allies and anyone friendly that can hear it.
Nice. That is really cool. That is awesome. I had no idea that was the main theme song, little music box.
Yay!
Fantastic.
It got
Thank you.
used. You're welcome, Eve. It is a good song. It's from back in my homeland, I'm quite fond of it.
Sir
Far,
John
far away.
Williams. Oh, nice. This is not the face of jealousy.
Mm-mm.
All right. So you guys, you sort of come out, from your short rest, and you feel rejuvenated and musically enriched with some health. And again, you walk a few hours. Again, hard to tell without the sun, but you walk quite a long period of time, and you come to a wide, like the tunnel itself sort of spreads a bit wider, and your light sources are sort of reflecting off of a water, like sort of a pool of water on the ground. Not just a pool, but like an area of water. And there's more foliage, there's more flora around this area because of the water. And as you're here, you hear more of the actually rushing water above, and you figure at this point that maybe it's like having to do with the fact that you guys are getting close to the river, and that's why you're hearing more drips and perhaps more water. And as you guys come into this area, and I'll show you a little quick picture of what that looks like here. Let me show you a quick little idea. It's not exactly what I wanted to do, but it's what I could do. And
Wow,
so you've
that's
got you've got some little torches again in this area, and you get the sense that this is a sort of a resting area, or a sort of maybe a midpoint area of this tunnel. And you see strewn about maybe some leftover campfires, or cooking, maybe more appropriately cooking fires, but like all out, nothing active really. But you do see those lights across this sort of expanded area, and you see that glow all the way in the back towards the steps. And that was a similar glow that you saw that when you came in. So again, sort of a transition area. And then you as you're sort of scanning, and as the ones with dark vision come up, you guys, off to the left-hand side, you see this larger body, and you can tell it's this troglodyte because you guys just battled one, and it's lifeless, sort of near the edge of the water. But you see there's something writhing under it, and there's something alive near it, but it's not moving towards you. It's just there, but there's something you see the troglodyte, but you see something else there, and you're not quite. None of you are able to really see it 'cause it's quite far off, maybe 40, 50 feet away from you towards the left.
I would like to go check that out. The
Okay.
troglodyte definitely seems dead.
Yeah, the troglodyte is like on its stomach, and
Okay.
you can see you can see that there's nothing. None of its limbs are moving. It's just there, and what you can see is a sort of snake-like shape is writhing, but like not moving towards you, just like struggling of some sort.
Can I get a closer look and investigate it?
You certainly can. You can walk up to it.
Okay. I walk up to
What
it.
the rest are you guys doing?
I'm gonna cast another divine sense. See if it's a celestial fiend or undead.
You get no pings.
Okay.
Gibble's going to go on the other side and spectate what in the world Dottore is doing.
Okay. Raymond, what do you have?
I'm going to find a good shadow to hide in.
The opposite side actually would be, because it has less light over there, you can definitely find more light. So you're sort of the opposite side of where they're going to. So you come up to the carcass of this troglodyte, and you don't smell it because it's been dead. But what you do see is a snake, a very large snake.
Yeah.
But the snake is definitely wounded. So it had some sort of battle. It may have popped up, or maybe the troglodyte attacked it. And during the battle, maybe when it was camped here or whatever. And but the snake is definitely fearful of you because it is wounded. You see like several slashes on its sort of abdomen. It's like one of those big, like, anaconda sort of thing. But it senses you obviously and is sort of coiling back, and you get the sense it's almost trying to be aggressive, but it can't. It has no energy, and it's fearful.
This is gonna sound weird. No, I gotta save that. Ugh. I want to comfort it in some way, because I'm not really afraid of snakes. I was a little grossed out over it, but I don't want to see a snake suffer. It's a snake. They're kind of cool.
Okay.
I don't know how to comfort a snake, though. Can I just, like... it's not going to bite me if I reach my hand out towards it. Will it?
Well, it didn't
Only one way
move.
to find out.
It didn't move to strike when you guys approached it. It was more, like I said, trying sort of posture moves, but it didn't. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna... Is it a friendly snake? Because if it's friendly, I can play it a song.
Well, what I can tell you, it's neutral.
It's neutral. Okay.
I'll say that.
As Dottore is looking at the snake, Gibble's going to sort of come up and be like, if we're nice to it, maybe it can be ours. Help us, maybe. Could just help it out. Do your magic.
Like
help it better.
Okay. All right. I will. Okay. I'm
Another
going
NPC
to
for me.
Cast. I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds on the snake. What the hell?
Okay.
And that is 7 plus 3. It has 10 health points. regained.
Okay. Okay.
And I just like, do this like woo-woo thing over it.
Woo thing.
So, so Atari does this woo thing over of this snake, and it sort of recoils and like realizes what you've done, and it has more strength, and it pulls itself from under the troglodyte that was sort of being covered by its like sort of dead corpse, and it pulls itself back, and then it, for lack of a better term, sort of looks at you and doesn't nod, but it just sort of looks at you for a split second, and then scurries away, and then heads off further into the other side of the cave. And at that moment, actually, roll perception, please, all of you.
All right.
I didn't study. No.
19
Four.
plus 2.
14.
21.
Ooh.
Okay.
Woohoo.
Raymond, what'd you get? You're nodding, so I'm assuming not good. 8? Okay. So,
4.
Damn.
sorry.
My night.
You look up and you see movement from sort of off towards one of the sides of that pond that you saw before, and one of like sort of the pieces of flora sort of gets bigger, and then all of you are momentarily dizzy, but also enriched. It's a very weird feeling. There's no rolling for this. It's just it's this feeling of connection to each of you. And suddenly you're all momentarily, well, not momentarily, you're at that moment, you're all sort of connected, and you can sort of hear telepathically, no, wrong word, telepathically, wow.
Telepathically?
Ooh,
Telepathically. Wow.
It happens.
It's been a long week, guys.
Wow. You're all connected, and you all recognize each other's sort of inner voices, but there's one voice that rings into your minds, and it says, "Thank you for having the appreciation of life. This appreciation of life has been missing a long, long time." And you, all of you, including Draymond, who's in the shadows, you guys sort of see this almost like broccoli-looking sort of head ruff, but colorful and stripes of different colors and perfectly camouflaged, but not. This creature stands up and says to you, "This tunnel system has existed for centuries, and it has been used for many of them, and most recently, regrettably, the use of slaves. It is rare that we have seen humility and care for life, and we appreciate this gesture, and we understand that you are not like those gray ones. You must avoid them, but to do so, you must take the right-hand side of the tunnel as you exit." And he points to those stairs that you guys saw, those rough-hewn stairs up on the ridge over there. And he sort of turns back at you and says, long time ago, these tunnels were used to take stolen wealth from the mine. And he points back towards Balgar Mine, actually, and says, and we didn't know what was going for the treasures, but we took notice of the many species of solemn-looking people recently, and we must help those who are helping them. So I bid you to rest here for the night. We will protect you and watch over you. These spores will give you a rest like you've never had before, so that in the morrow you may continue your quest, that you are all tied to the fate of the Wyvern's tear and the fate of this entire valley. Now, sleep. And you all sort of feel this sense of protection, sense of security. Draymond, you're over in the shadows, but you're feeling like, I'm good over here. And you just sort of like lean back and you slump down in your shadow against the back of the rock, having no care. Datari, you just sort of sit down and realizing, wow, finally someone's taking care of me. And Gibble, you have no fear from these creatures. And Eve, you are quite intrigued by this type of magic, but you also feel no fear whatsoever. And you guys all fall into a very restful sleep. And looking forward to continuing. Yes?
Before I fall asleep, I'm just gonna look at Gibble and flick my tail and say, dude, I don't know if I'm tripping or if Erie put something in my coffee, but that broccoli, can you hear that broccoli talking, or is it just me?
It's definitely talking.
I am talking to you all, and you can all hear each other. It is our nature to attack those who don't help life and bring together those who do help life. And I know, and we know, that your mission and this fate that you are protecting and working for is much greater than what you know.
It's gotta be Torga's shrooms. She put her shrooms in my coffee. Gotta be Torga's shrooms.
Well, the mushroom dude gave us some good molly.
Damn.
And with that, we end tonight's chapter. Join us next week for the next chapter in this ever-expanding story. Thank you, everyone who joined us in the chat. Thank you to all the players tonight. It was great playing with you, and it was a great time. And there must be something in the comments.
Chat
right?
has been hopping tonight.
I know.
And with that, we bid you all a great evening. Thank you for coming.
Good night, y'all.
Bye-bye.